beautiful day to make cookies today. Sun is shining, just a dusting of snow on the ground, and I'm going to make for you our family's favorite oatmeal cookies. Such an old-fashioned, simple recipe. And again, I have taken recipes and changed it. I like to take the sugar out. Did that for years for health reasons. But you know, I found that by using simple ingredients in place of the sugar, such as the raw honey. I'm going to put a stick of butter in my bowl here. And I use, instead of sugar, I'm using 3/4 cup of our organic raw honey, and that's why it's nice and thick. Your raw honey has a lot of the pollen in it, and I'm using 1/4 cup of my molasses. And again, if you remember my little secret, I have done this for years. Just put a little bit of oil in the bottom of the containers, and you can see how nice and easily the honey and the molasses comes out of the container. So we're just going to stir this all together. It's nice if you can get everything at room temperature. The butter, the eggs, because we're going to add our eggs. We've got 2 nice organic eggs, and try not to get the shells in there. I have done that once. I've been known to do that. Probably be better to break them into a ramekin, but I just didn't take the time. And then we're also going to put in about a teaspoon of real vanilla. There we go. And stir that all together. Get those eggs beaten. The nice thing about this is that it's all just done by hand. There we go. If you wanted to, you could have put the eggs in first and beat them. Doesn't really matter. I like to start out with softening the butter with my my honey and molasses. There we go. All right, now to our oatmeal cookies, we are going to make a flour mixture, and I like to use a mixture of flours. So I'm going to start out with a 1/2 cup of just an unbleached, and then I have a 1/2 cup of my whole wheat organically grown bread flour. And I'm just going to mix that all together. And then I always like to add another little ounce of nutrition. So in that I am going to add a couple tablespoons of flax meal. You see that? And that gives you a little bit more brain food. And then I'm going to put just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. That's it. And I'm going to put some baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and cinnamon. Cinnamon, you can always use a good amount. I use a good teaspoon of cinnamon. And nutmeg, I've got fresh nutmeg. You can grind up to however much you want. I usually do about a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Stir that all together. It's like kind of running it through a sift. You know, a lot of recipes say, well, you want to sift this, sift that. Okay, hope you got all that. Really not that difficult. Okay, so we've got our flour we're going to add. And then I've got over here 3 cups of oatmeal. And the kind of oatmeal I like to buy is the thick rolled oats. I don't use instant oats in my cookies. Now stir that flour in. As you can see, the flour is not the star of the show, but it does add some luscious flavor in there with the different flours and the little bit of the flax meal. And now we're just going to dump in our 3 cups of oatmeal. This is not instant, remember. Listen to that. It's getting it all moist. And then what I like to add, and you can add whatever you want, about a cup of raisins or craisins. These are blueberry. So it's going to give my oatmeal cookies quite a different texture. I'm going to just stir those in. I didn't mean texture, I'm sorry. It's going to give it quite a different flavor, because they're no longer going to be just oatmeal. You're going to have a blueberry oatmeal. And how many of you, especially kids, like cereal that has blueberries in it? Everybody likes blueberry syrup on their pancakes. I know our grandkids did. When they come over, we'd have to buy a special. I'm going to just throw in the rest of those raisins, because I think if I really measured it, it would have been a cup. So anyway, you want to bring back the nice memories of smells and flavors in your family. And for us, blueberry was always a very fun fruit to use and flavor. The blueberry syrups, the blueberries in the pancakes. There we go. Now we're going to take our cookie sheet here that I have lightly greased, and my little faithful tool here. And we're going to just, you know what, I think I'm going to use my smaller one. And we're going to see. Sometimes I like to make them small, sometimes I like to make them big. But we're just going to do that. We'll make our first batch small. How's that? I don't think. Yeah, maybe we can. We can get 4 across there easily. And we'll do maybe 3 down, or 6 down, maybe 4. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just do 4. So we'll get 16 on one cookie sheet. It's always nice to find some helpful tools, especially if you don't have a whole lot of strength or if your hands aren't working well. Trust me, it's nice to have tools that work well for your hands. And you know, we're all getting older in life and we sometimes need help. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to know that you need some help in areas with the hands. So I'm just going to kind of fix them here a little bit. I think they look perfect. We're going to stick them in the oven. And I like to bake these for a chewy cookie. You want to bake them on a lower temperature, like around 300, maybe 325, and you cook them for about 10 minutes. If you want them to come crispy, then you'll want to bake them at 350. Okay. 350 or 375 for maybe 10 minutes. But I've got my oven at 300, and we're going to time it for 10 minutes, and we'll see how they come out real soon. So we've taken these out of the oven. I've let them cool on my rack for a good 10 minutes. And they're very moist. They're chewy. And you know, when it was baking, the smell was a very different, like a smoky, sweet smell. That blueberry craisins is what's done it. It's delicious. Nice healthy cookie. These store very well in your freezer, if you can keep them that long. I have a hard time because these are my husband's favorite. So a good old-fashioned oatmeal cookie, put some flax in it, flax meal, and some craisins or any kind of raisins, or you can put walnuts or nuts if you want to, and just enjoy a nice homemade oatmeal cookie. If you want the recipe, go on to my website of memorableFoodDishes.com.